So we have an application for accounting books in Hogwarts Library. Let's go to the regular section and we can see a list of books, and let's add a new book. A brief history of time, and also specify instead of Stephen Hawking, Joanne Rowling. Create a new book. Okay, this is mistake. We indicated the author incorrectly. So let's create other book. Harry Potter and Prisoner of Azkaban, and instead of Joanne Rowling, we write Stephen Hawking. This is mistake too. Our program needs the ability to edit the information about book, and for editing author of book or book name. For example, we can write prisoner, this with a mistake. Prisoner of Azkaban. This is mistake and we needed to edit it. For this we needed to open HTML document, this section. We see that we can see the table. This is table with author and a book name, two header, two columns, and for each with a book author and a book name. For editing we needed to add a third table data, third column, and inside this table data we will write a hyperreference with time leaf hyperreference. URL strictly needed to specify at, then curly braces, and then some address. Library, for example, edit, pathway, and we needed to specify ID. Okay, but we need to firstly create an ID to our model, name, and val ID with 0 of type long. We have default values, so we can delete the constructor, but we needed to create a companion object. Companion object with current ID. I want to increment of ID after each instantiation of this class. This is will var current ID. It's time long and 0, and at initialization block, after initialization, this ID will send this value with the value, and after assignment statement we need to create a var. We will increment this current value 0, 1, 2, 3, and etc. And by this ID we will capture each book and edit with ID number. We need to create this parameter, and we will get it from this book author, name fields, and we add an ID field. So we use this ID field for getting its ID. And this reference must be called edit. Okay, and let's try to restart our application. We can immediately a mistake from our book repository implementation. So ID, we don't specify ID here. ID will increment automatically, but I need to specify name and author. This is not ID, this is name, and this is author. Okay, and let's do the same for each and author. Okay, restart. Then open our web browser. Okay, and after refreshing we can see this edit. So we can give it a name as a third column. Let's open regular section. This table row, this is first row with names of columns. And here just write edit. Edit. Okay, restart. Open our web browser, refresh. Okay, edit column. And we can select edit, and then our program will send this library edit and with the ID of this edit. So we need a new function that will process this request. Let's create a new function. Firstly, it will get mapping, because we firstly needed to open a new page for editing. Let's create it. This HTML document, and its name will be edit book. Okay, edit book. Title is edit, and in the body we can just select a form. From our regular document. In edit, just write it, form. This method must be not put, must be patch with namespace, with action. Okay, and we needed to getting this edit book, and then we will change its content. Our controller, and for getting a library here, when we write edit, this edit, we will send this library with ID book ID. So let's copy it and paste our library edit. We don't write library because we have a request mapping library. All functions here firstly need a library slash, but after library we need to specify edit and specify some ID number. Okay, this function edit, we see that this ID is not a request param, it's a path variable. So let's capture path variable with name ID. It's time int. And by this ID we needed to find a book and send this book to return this edit book HTML document. Copy its name, return, paste. But firstly we needed to model, to edit to model. We will edit with method add attribute with key book for edit. Okay, this name. And we already have a book repository, and from this repo we needed to get some book by ID. Let's create it functionality in this repository. Firstly, we needed to create a function get book by ID, get book by ID, and we will specify only ID, and get not list, only book. And we needed to create its implementation here in our book repository impl, and then this repository impl will inject it here. Okay, book repository impl, get book by ID. So we have a list of books, and these books we will get only by id some book, and just return it. We get id. This function takes id, and the ids match with a number of these elements. But for more reliable, we can use a find method, and id must be equal of this id number. We see that id is long from here, id long, and in our repository info and repository 2 we use a long type. Here long, and here is long 2, the same type. Okay. We need to return some book. Some book with name empty and author is empty too. If id is not exist, this good, and if id is exist, then we will return its element. Okay. We do it in our repository impl, inject it repository, and get it here. Get book by id, and this id we must be here. id from book id. Get it here. Send as a path variable. Send capture it as a path variable, and then specify. But it must be long type, and then specify it here. Okay, and then just return edit string. We needed to specify it as a return type. Edit function here after its parameters. Okay. And edit book. Let's open edit book here. This book we capture for this HTML document. We send it by using the library, by using this keyword key book for edit by this key, and we needed to get it by this key too. Okay, and the action for patching as a patch request. Here we will specify edit. It's ID in curly braces, ID, and this ID must be the same value. From this book we get it dot id, and inside our form we can see the object and field. We can write instead of this book for edit, book for edit, and dot name, but it's usually use the syntax with the asterisk and with name and with author. This is necessary so that the fields are not empty when the page opens. We needed to see some name of book and specified author, and after this button edit and update the book some title. Let's restart it. Let's check our results. Open this code. Library regular works. Let's write edit, and we can see double library. Okay, open our code in the regular section and with backslash for a root folder. Okay, run it again. Open our web browser, refresh here, regular, and let's open. Yes, program works. So we have a book name with Prisoner of Azkaban with a mistake, and book author Stephen Hawking. That's right. That's a mistake. Let's check it. Let's fix it. Prisoner of Azkaban and a book author beautiful Joanna Rowling. And write edit. When we write edit from this book folder, so you understand what we did. When we write edit, we start this instruction: edit, library, edit, some book, hyperreference. And for process this reference, we use this get mapping, edit, and some number of book. For example, if we edit first book, edit and its ID 0. So if we change this, its ID first, for this ID 2, and for this ID 3. If we add a new element, its ID must be 4. Increment by 1. Okay, this is if we write edit. So this get mapping is working, and the process this request, path variable ID, get a book by this ID, send it to the application context by this book for edit key and edit book, return open edit book, and get it is object by this key book for edit. Okay, and then displaying its name and author. Its name and author. We will check this book, for example, the last book, Stephen Hawking. This. Okay, and just fix new value, Prisoner of Azkaban, and the author Joanna Kathleen Rowling. Okay, and when we write edit, we will work with this request: library, edit, and some ID number for this book. This book ID, edit. This is patch method. So I already said to you that there is a get, put, post, and the patch method. So let's write a patch mapping for processing this patch request, and write here code. We don't write library because we specify request mapping library all requests with library, firstly library, and here too, and just second path edit. Let's open its code and just copy this code in our controller. Edit, then ID as a type variable. This is for time live. Here we just capture this ID as a path variable. This is a function for updating book, update book. So we capture path variable with ID. ID is a long type. Okay, and just for wrapper, we need to create a function for updating book. Update book. Okay, update book by ID. So we need firstly get ID and update it, and specify a book itself. So we need also a book. So we get ID here. We capture ID, but also we need to get access for this book for edit. Okay, by this key, so we can specify annotation model attribute get by this key model attribute from model our application context, and to just create a book, and this new book set for updating. And after this all, we needed to redirect to first regular section hour. We can open its address, this regular, and just redirect this regular library / regular. Edit as a return type to our function string. And we needed to create this update by ID in our repository. Created here ID long and some book. The object of book without implementation because it's interface, but in the implementation of this interface we need to create a new function for updating book from our list. We have this list of books, mutable list. This is redundant, okay. And so from this list of books, we needed to firstly find book by ID. It must be equal this ID. And if it's not null, this book exists. So let's change its name by this name from this book. And we needed to change its author from the same parameter, book author. Val cannot be reassigned, and change name and author to var from this model. var. Okay, just update it from this repository, update, and then return our regular list of books in a regular section. Restart our application, and then open our web browser, refresh. Okay, and try edit. If we try value and edit, we can get an error. Why mapping is not working? Because our mapping is a patch mapping. So in our code, we see that this is patch method. But patch method is an HTTP method, but in HTML5 format, there is only two formats. No. This document, if we open its code, we can see that this is from post. Why post? We specify patch, but here is a post and the created input type hidden with the method value patch. This is because there is these methods. This is HTTP methods. HTTP methods. But in HTML5 standard, for example, this is HTML standard. Web browser works with HTML standard. There is only get method and only post method. These only two methods. And if we specify patch in our edit books, this patch, this time leaf refresh it and specify post, because there is only or get or post methods. And with this, and we needed to write extra code with the filters. This is a separate subject. So we can just create a post method, and so we needed to, it's a recommended way, and so we need to just in this library change this patch mapping on post mapping, but with edit, other post without edit, and this is with edit. Okay, and restart our application, and then open our web browser. Let's open a regular section of our Hogwarts library, and we can see a mistake. Joanna Rowling author, but book's name A Brief History of Time. Let's change it. Edit. A Brief History of Time. It's author Stephen Hawking. Okay, and write edit. We can see that the program works, and the correct author Stephen Hawking in book name The Brief History of Time. So let's create a book with a mistake. Create a new book so we can see this type and the incorrect author. Edit. We can change fix its name and fix the author. Beautiful Joanna Rowling. Okay, Joanna Rowling and Harry Potter and Prisoner of Azkaban. This is because we use this post mapping. Then if we write edit and change write edit button, we create this function that will process this request, and for this code the program works well. Good job, and see you in the next lesson.